not today. That ain't gonna happen. If you guys want somebody to tickle your ear, tell you what you want to hear, they're using biscuits to demonstrate a Slow and Sear product, you come to the wrong place. So here's your warning. Today is Slow and Sear, what I call Merlin. So from here on out, I'm calling it Merlin, is Merlin versus the Grillstone. I've actually have seeked out some advice and some help on doing this test. And I've actually worked with a person who is a Slow and Sear, I would probably say a Slow and Sear guru. I want to make sure I ran everything through this person. They want to remain unidentified. They don't want me to identify them because they don't want to get a bunch of haters, but I don't care. So I ran everything through them and said, hey, how about this? How about this? They're like, no, how about you change this and change that? So I'm going to do everything according to their criteria, do everything according to what a Slow and Sear guru has to say about the testing that I'm about to do. So I'm working with somebody that is of the knowledge of the Slow and Sear. It's going to be against a Grillstone, so each one are going to have its advantages, but I'm going to make dang sure that I give the Slow and Sear, or I'm sorry, I give Merlin a lot more advantages than the Grillstone, and you see how this actually ends up. And this testing today is going to be, I'm going to have the Inkbird. I have a, it's called, right here, this hooks up into your cell phone. It's made by FLIR. By the way, it's FLIR, not FLIR. It's FLIR. And I'll be able to get the heat signatures. I'll be able to get the heat signatures of what's going on inside those pits and see how the flames are coming up. I'm also be using a PID controller. I'm using the Flame Boss in both pits, and also I'm not going to be using water in either pits. I know that's a big hang up with a lot of people, but if you have a hang up with it, go to ABC's video and watch where I'm using their videos kind of as a guideline, and their video of the Merlin or Slow and Sear versus the snake method. They did not use any water, which made sense because it adds an extra variable to the test, which you can't really balance out each one, so kind of throwing that out. But I am doing everything according to what this person that is knowledgeable of the Slow and Sear is doing. I also want to bring up another point, and I'm gonna get the camera switched around, and I'm gonna make this point about the Slow and Sear, about the new one versus the old one, which I have, which I think is the better model. And I'm gonna show you guys how I have everything set up. So let's get started. All right, so I'm gonna start off with the Grillstone first. So right here is the port that the Flame Boss is gonna be getting hooked up into, that little nozzle right there. That's where the Flame Boss is gonna be hooked up into. We'll put a jug in the middle. It's gonna be 80 coals in each one, and I'm gonna put the coals around here in a circular motion. When I put the hot coals in, I'm gonna be putting 10 coals in there. I'll be putting the 10 coals right here, just pouring them in right here. I'll pick these bricks up, and it's gonna start kind of like a snake method, but it's gonna be off the edge, and it's gonna be, I'm gonna try to keep it as close to inside here as I can. I'll probably remove this and collapse some of the coals inside. It's not gonna be touching. So that's kind of the setup of that. The Grillstone is going to be getting placed like so. And the only advantage I'm gonna be giving to the Grillstone is this. A couple pieces of foil right here. I'm gonna be putting along the edges right here to block that, so all the heat comes up in one area, kind of like I'm gonna be doing with the Slow and Sear. So I want all the heat to be directed to right here. So this is the only advantage I'm giving to the Grillstone, is that right there. Let's move on to the Merlin. Okay, Merlin time. So, talking with my unidentified Slow and Sear person is I'll be covering. I got the nozzle for the Flame Boss is right here. All right, it's right here. Make sure that's placed on there properly. It's placed on there good. The Merlin is going to go right up there. I'm actually going to keep it off the edge. So there you go. So now I have the Merlin is going to be off the edge right here, as you can see. So there's gonna be less radiant heat going out. So I'm even giving an advantage of less radiant heat for the Merlin to go out. So the air is gonna flow from underneath, and it's going to burn the coals like that. 80 coals. So I think is pretty huge. Then when I have this, I'm going to put the temp probe just a couple inches away. I'll probably put the temp probe right here. I'm also going to put probably a couple other ones right here and right here to try to monitor the temperatures here. And also with the, so I'll probably be running about 3 or 4 different temp probes inside each pit to try to monitor the temperature as it goes. Plus I'm going to be doing the infrared heat signature FLIR 1 Pro app on here as well throughout the cook to show y'all not just still shots. I'm not going to do still shots. I'm going to do actual live footage of what's going on. Still shots can be, you know, you can work your way around each pit and get the shot that you want and display that picture to meet your advantage or to meet your goals. But if I am doing live, you can't really hide that. So once again, biscuits will not be used in this test. Actuality, that video probably could have been about 30-45 seconds long. If we just put up the FLIR 1 Pro, just walked around, the video probably could have been 3 to 4 seconds long. I know in that video that ABC did, the Weber charcoal basket, man, they just can't let that go. With the Weber baskets versus the Merlin, they showed how the poor little, picking on the poor little charcoal basket, the poor little Weber charcoal baskets again. I mean, what's up with that, man? Some issues. So they're still picking on the poor little charcoal baskets, but what you can do is you can take like a regular like paver brick or even like a grill brick, wrap it in some aluminum foil and put it right here. Now it's going to take probably 1.5. You wrap it 1.5 like that, wrap it up like that, and it's going to do the same thing. So 75 cents. All you got to do is break another 1.5, wrap it up like that. Happen to have a half of one right here. See? There we go. See, and that will deflect, and that'll deflect the heat up. So there you go. 75, actually it'd be about $1.50. See, $1.50, $2.25 is what it would cost to get your poor innocent little. These are 304 stainless steel. These are 304 stainless steel charcoal baskets. These are better than the regular aluminized steel that the Weber charcoal baskets are. This is actually 304 stainless steel. Same material that the Sloan Sear is made out of. Oh yeah, one more thing on the Sloan Sear. I forgot this. This is hugely important. Hold on. Okay, so before I get people to bust me up about the Sloan Sear. Okay, first off, this first generation Sloan Sear is much better than the ones you have now. I'm gonna be running only one grate. I run it crosshatch right here. Doing the other ones, said why didn't you put another grate or put something down there so the coals don't fall through. All right, first off, the coals that fall through are still gonna emit heat, just not a whole lot, and you also want this thing to breathe. All right, first off, I want to say I'm glad I didn't end up throwing this thing away. I'm glad I ended up changing my mind and ended up keeping it because I wouldn't be able to do this test today. This is the original Sloan Sear. This one is better than the ones you have now. First off, it has welded construction. I'm a huge fan of welded construction when it comes to small applications. The new ones are riveted construction. Now I know that there's skyscrapers and stuff are made from riveted construction. Well, that's completely different. This isn't a freaking skyscraper. This is a charcoal basket. So the weld in this application very much work better than the riveted construction. I think riveted construction is a lot cheaper to produce than it is the welded construction. Second off, what I like about this one versus the new one, it has an open bottom right here. Now with the new ones, you have kind of like a screen that goes across the bottom. Here's the huge problem with that, and I've been watching a lot of YouTubers struggling with a mesh that goes along the bottom. Now the one that has across the bottom, it actually holds your ash in and actually chokes down your flame and your fire as you're trying to cook. And I've been noticing a lot of YouTubers having to go out there that have been using the new Sloan Sears with the mesh screen, have been having to go out there every couple hours, either having to refuel, they're losing temperature, and they're having to move those coals around so that it can breathe, so that they can get their temperatures back up. So my method of doing this with just the one grate is better than having the screen. So that's another huge advantage I'm giving the Merlin. Yeah, no biscuits, FLIR 1. That about covers it. Let's get these coals counted out and let's get this thing started. It's gonna be 80 coals in each one. Oh yeah, there's another advantage I'm giving to the Sloan Sear. Just in case some of y'all are like really weird about the weight or something, it doesn't really matter, weighing out your coals. It doesn't, to me, it all equals out. As long as you use nice whole pieces, that aren't really damaged, like good whole pieces, the weight's going to be the same pretty much. It might be just a fraction of a gram difference. But this is what I'm going to do, because I don't want to hear all these excuses, is I'm going to give the Merlin, I'm going to give it half a coal more. That should give it just a slight bit of advantage even on coals. So I'm giving every advantage over the Grillstone. What do I think? I haven't done this test yet, so what do I think is going to happen? I think that the thermal mass is going to be better with the Grillstone, but the Sloan Sear will probably outlast the Grillstone. That's my prediction. See if I'm right, see if I'm wrong. There you go. That's my prediction so far. Let's get started. I'll be using Kingsford Blue. So let's get 80 counted out for each one. All right, y'all, so it took me a while to find 80. That bag, there was quite a while to try to get some out, but here we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 80. Over here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and a half of one right here. This is for the slow and sear. This is for the Grillstone. As you can tell, I've been dirty. So I'm gonna take 10 out for each one. I'm gonna light them up, and that's it. So 70 and a half is gonna go into the slow and sear, and 70 is gonna go into the bottom of for the Grillstone. So while these coals and stuff get hot, I'm gonna go ahead and put the grate on. I'm gonna put the flame boss started, and I'm gonna get the temp probes where they need to be. And yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's go. So before I put the lid on, here we go. I got 6 spots back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over here on slow and sear, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over here, I've got it just about equal distance back. This is the Inkbird. The Inkbird. Here we go. Time to get the lids on. Okay, just gonna crack these open just ever so slightly. So much here is gonna go over here. Gonna crack this. Yeah, open too much. Go just ever so slightly, and I'm going. Okay, so I think I have everything set for the Grillstone right here. I have the temp set at 225. And I have an alarm set for, it only let me go 46 degrees below. Go back over here, and we have Merlin right here, set 225, and I'll show you. Pit alarm, 46 degrees right there, 225 is where I have that. Pit temp, there you go, 46 degrees, so everything's even here. Now it's time to get my Inkbird set up. Okay, so with the Inkbird, I have a spot in the slow and sear that where one of those probes are, where it's 140. The other side is 223. With the Grillstone, you have 189 and 194, and that's on the sides right there. But for some reason, the one side is way cooler, almost 100 degrees cooler. So I don't know what's up with that. That might be the one that's actually is away from the coals. It might be away from the coals. And then this here is probably this one that's closer to the coals. But that's just kind of weird. And I've got the chart set for them too. So I got a 4-hour, I could chart for about 4 hours. So right now, the Grillstone's actually come up the temperature quicker. The Merlin, well, actually Merlin's up to 248. But this here is like 155. But it's coming up though. So that's a good thing. But this is kind of cool though. Technology. Hey Dave, maybe you'll hire me now to do your testing, because I actually do real testing. Check this out. Now this could be interpreted any way that you want to, okay? If you are a pro slow and sear person or pro Merlin person, then you're gonna see it your way. If you are a pro Grillstone person, you're gonna see it your way, but I'm just gonna present the evidence the way it is. Okay, so here we go. So this is the Grillstone right here. Actually, hold on, let me go back in case you didn't believe me. Okay, Grillstone, so let's tap on that. There we go. Let's move up the chart. Okay, so this is what it's doing now. It's been about 2 hours, So it's staying right along that 225, and down here at the bottom is how the fan is cutting on. So it just falls below the 225. It just pops it up, then the fan doesn't even come on. And right now it's at a stall. It's not even doing nothing. So what it's telling me is that Grillstone is maintaining and keeping temperatures really good across the board, which is what it's supposed to do. That's why it's a Grillstone. Now let's go over to the slow and sear. Well, let's go over to Merlin. Oh, hold on. Let me show you in case you didn't believe me. Go to Merlin. Here we go. Okay, so right now Merlin is at 230, and here we go. So Merlin, the fan is just coming on here just every once in a while. And maintain, it has a couple of spikes there, but it's maintaining, keeping that it's basically maintained keeping that 225. This don't lie, can't lie. So there you go. Let's go over to what the Inkbird is doing right now. Merlin is at, so hold on, let me put this. So Merlin right now, on one side of Merlin is at 241, the other side of Merlin is at 223. In the Grillstone, you have one side of the Grillstone is at 255, The other side is at 217. This is because I have it, you know, in a snake method. So this one is the one that might be closer to where the side is of the snake method. Let's go to chart. Let me see. So this is the first chart of Merlin right here. So I have a temp right now set of 225, a high of 275, and a low of 175. So that's the first one. Here's the second one. Seems to be maintaining pretty good. Here is the one side of the Grillstone. It's a little bit more wider. But then here's the other one. It's staying pretty rock solid right there in the middle. So that's pretty cool too. Do whatever you want to with this information. You know, both are doing really good. Can't really complain. I mean, you know, they're both maintaining temperature pretty good. The fan seems to not be having to work as much with the Grillstone, but then you pro Merlin people could probably say, oh, well, it's not having to work that hard with the Merlin either. You know, it's whatever you want to take out of this, or whatever you want to determine. But right now, I think that the Grillstone is covering more of a wider, even temperature inside that pit, and that is with the heat signatures. So there you go. Okay, so I just found out what this is right here. This is the here, I'll show you. That's the light coming off of the from the sun right here. It goes down. That's what that is. So look, check it out. So if you minus that dark red, inside there is absolutely perfect color. Slow and sear. Let's look. Okay, so let's take away, see what we're looking at in real life. Okay, there we go. Now let's look. There we go. So over here you have a hot signature. Of course, that's where the basket is. Then the heat comes out. And so you've got even temp for the middle part to right here. Over here, even temperature pretty much all the way across. That is pretty cool. There you go. Okay, so we're about 2 hours in, and this is the slow and sear. You can see where the charcoal basket is. So it's hot over here. So it's hot for about, what is that, probably about 25-30% of your surface. So you would actually be cooking over here on this side. And it still seems to be pretty hot. The radiant heat coming off it right now is in the 200 to 200s, most I've seen so far, come off of that surface. Let's go on over here to the Barbecue Dragon Grillstone. So 200 is the highest so far. Radiant heat coming off of this has not, let's see if it's hit 200 yet. Has I hit 200 up here in the main cooking chamber. Now, if you remember this red right here, this red is this reflection right here. That's what that is right there. Let's get back to the thermal. Okay, so that's what that red is right there. So you can tell this right here is a nice even orange almost all the way across. Perfect. Okay, just hit the 4 hour mark. Well, a little bit past the 4 hour mark. It's been about 4 hours and 15 minutes. Right now, Merlin is inside there on one. Remember, the Inkbird, I have one on one side, one on the other, and then the Flame Boss, I have that one in the center. So on one side is 235, on the other side, 216. I did a heat signature, and it looks like the Merlin has actually burned about halfway through. So about half the coals have already burned out. It looks like right now the coals are about halfway. It's already burned to right there. Still got that much more to go. Grillstone right now, the internal is 223 and 216, which makes sense because if it's doing anything that the Merlin's doing, it's already burned halfway through. And so right now it's going to be heating up on one side or the other as it goes around. So there you go. And then also let's look at the Grillstone. Here's the graph of the Grillstone. It's currently at 221, and here's what it's doing inside, which is pretty impressive. It's pretty much keeping at 225. And then the Merlin right here. Then Merlin is maintaining, oh, hold on, see what the fan's doing. Right down here is what the fan's doing. So right now the fan's really not even on because it kind of had a little spike right there, but that's kind of what the Merlin's doing right now. So that's a 4 hours and 15 minute check-in. So hopefully, me and my wife are probably going to be going out. If it's at a halfway point right now at 4 hours, we could probably go out and do something for another 4 hours, and maybe in 8 hours, this might be getting towards the end. So I don't know where this 13 and 16 hours comes in. When it was the Merlin versus the snake method, they went 16 hours. I don't see us going 16 hours, and it's at 225. So, all right, I'll be back. All right, so right now it is 3 o'clock. Put us on at 9:40 today, so it's been about 5 hours and 20 minutes. Grillstone 223 and 225. Remember, that's the probes that's on the side. I think what's going on is that it's actually burned halfway around. On that snake, it's burned halfway around, and then on Merlin 259 and 244. So these temperatures are starting to tighten up because the temps are actually starting to move halfway at the halfway point of their prospective basket or the prospective snake method. So that's what's kind of going on, I believe. I haven't lifted these lids open yet because here's the cool thing. If I lift the lid of any one of these, it's gonna have a spike down. It's gonna tell on me if I even mess with that lid. I haven't messed with the lid at all. So this keeps the testing on us. Okay, right here is Merlin. Right here. Now Merlin right here at the end is starting to have some spikes going up. All right, I don't know why it's spiking, but it's doing some kind of weird thing with its spiking. It's a 5 hour and 40 minute update. All right, y'all, so right now the time is 7:20. I put these coals and stuff on at 9:40 a.m. this morning. So right now at 10 hours. So in 20 more minutes, it's gonna be on for 10 hours. So this is pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good results. I mean, 10 hours. So let's look at what the Grillstone is doing. Oh yeah, this is the FLIR 1 camera that I've been using. And I've been showing y'all some images of that. So check it out. Okay, so this is, I think the Grillstone's is about at its end when it comes to charcoal in there. I'll show you why. So here is the Grillstone right there, Grillstone, and then let's show you what the chart's doing. Okay, so right now it's at 207, but right down here at the end. All right, so right here you can see where the fan is starting to max out. The fan right now is at 93%, so it's pretty much maxing out to try to keep a temperature of 225, but it just keeps falling. So I think the Grillstone is just about out of gas. Through the whole thing, it pretty much hugged that 225, and it stayed pretty even on there, just as I thought it would. Okay, now let's look at the Merlin. Okay, Merlin right now is still at 225. Now look at the chart. Now right here it had a lot bigger, wider swings. The fan to me has been on even more, except for right here. It didn't come on that long, but it's been working pretty good right here, and now it's kind of settled down, and now it's kind of hugging that 225. So these results are ending up exactly the way I thought they would. All right, so I said 175. I'm gonna go ahead and end it now. 200. It's getting dark, and it is right now 7:40. So it lasted another, 20 minutes from the last time I talked to you. Right now the fan output is 100%. I'm just gonna unplug it. I want to see how many coals there actually are left inside the Grillstone. 10 hours, 80 coals, barbecue, dragon, Grillstone. Grillstone cost $50. Slow and Sear, $130 to $200 plus. Just gonna do a comparison there. Now let's see what the Merlin's like. Okay, Merlin is still at 225, and now it's kind of baselining now. So that's the Merlin. All right, let's look at how many coals are left in the Grillstone. Okay, so it's been 10 hours. This is the first time this lid has been open. All right. That's it. Virtually no coals left. It had a few right here that hadn't been touched. So these right here didn't go. That's a whole coal right there. All right, that's what's left with the barbecue dragon Grillstone test right there. Let's see how much is left with the slow and sear. All right, slow and sear. So this is, I'm gonna show y'all. All right, so right now it's currently at 225. Time now is 7:50. If I would have opened the lid at any time during this test, there'd be a long dip down. So this is the first time I've actually opened this lid. Here we go, let's do it. All right, there you go. So that's actually not too damn bad. Okay, so there you go. As you can see right here, not bad. You can start seeing the grate down there, but there's still significantly more coals than there is with the barbecue dragon Grillstone. I'm just kind of curious, how long is it gonna last? Gonna just let it keep going. Just gonna see how long it does last. So right now we're at the 10-hour mark. All right, time now is 9:34. Merlin has finally gave up the ghost at 200 degrees, 199. I want to show y'all something. So you can see right here, it shows like the time in the degrees it was. So right about 9:19, it was at 225. So in about 15 minutes time, I mean, it lost all steam whatsoever. I mean, it didn't even try to fight back. Yep, so that's over with. So Merlin lasted 12 hours. Let's take a look. And that's what we got left for Merlin. So there we go. So that's all we got. Basically, that's just all ash, and there's like one, maybe two coals there. So Merlin outlasted the Grillstone by almost 2 hours. So if you want to get technical, it was 11 hours, 44 minutes is what it lasted. Time for my final thoughts. All right, y'all. Test is over. So the Merlin, the great Merlin, outlasted, well, Slow and Sear, outlasted the Barbecue Dragon Grillstone by 1 hour and 44 minutes. Let's look at some positives and some negatives. When it comes to craftsmanship, when it comes to durability, the Slow and Sear is made of 304 stainless steel. I think that it is actually constructed probably better than the Barbecue Dragon Grillstone, because the Barbecue Dragon Grillstone has a tendency to break as it is right now, but Barbecue Dragon is actually working on upgrading those stones to make them thicker, or maybe to reinforce that center so that breaking of the Grillstone ceases to exist and will no longer have those problems, or will be few and far between. Let's look at how much room you have inside the kettle. With the Barbecue Dragon Grillstone, you have much more room that you can use inside of your kettle. You can actually use 100% of the room inside your kettle. With the Slow and Sear, you're limited to only about 2/3 of the space, or roughly. So if you want to do 4 8-pound pork butts like I did, you cannot do that on a Slow and Sear. You can't do that with a Barbecue Dragon Grillstone. With the heat signatures, my opinion, you guys can determine whatever way you want to. With the heat signatures, the Slow and Sear, it was hot all on one side, and it looked like it actually spread the rest of the heat going the rest of the way out. With the Barbecue Dragon Grillstone, exactly the way I thought. It was even temp from basically the center part of that grill of the kettle and all the way up. It was all one color. It was even temp. So I would put heat disbursement, I would put that in the favor of the Barbecue Dragon Grillstone. Price wise, you're looking at, with a Slow and Sear, you're looking anywhere between $130 to $200, $300, depends on what kind and what model you get and what size kettle you get. With the Barbecue Dragon Grillstone, you're looking at $50, but when they probably upgrade it, they might actually, price it probably around, I don't know, probably, I'm just saying, I don't know for certain, but probably around $60. But still, it's really, it's a lot more affordable than that of the Slow and Sear. Congratulations to the Slow and Sear. Congratulations to Merlin for actually outlasting the Grillstone. But it does make sense, because it was inside that basket, so it was more contained. So it was pretty much everything that I said, everything that I predicted was going to happen. It did happen. There was no biscuits harmed in the making of this video. Thanks to my source, my Slow and Sear source, everything worked out pretty much the way I thought it was going to. I had a feeling that the Slow and Sear was going to outlast the Grillstone, and it did. It didn't go nowhere near to 13 or even 16 hours the way that ABC tries to make it like it can. I mean, I'm sure underneath some kind of conditions it will, but in this condition it didn't. In order to get these types of results, I guess you have to have yourself a $200 to $300 PID controller. I think that's about it. This burn goes to the Merlin. So it won this test, but there was a lot more, I personally think there's a lot more advantages and a lot more positives than negatives that actually come out of this. And like I've told y'all before, I told y'all I do honest testing, and if I didn't want to be honest, could have done something to make the Grillstone last longer, but it didn't. I mean, and I didn't lift the lid. I showed y'all all the evidence all the way through this video, and I appreciate everybody for joining me. So anyhow, I have an Amazon store. If y'all want to go check out that Amazon store, I'm going to be putting in, if I can find one, I'm gonna put one of those FLIR 1 Pros. That thing is really cool. So I'll put one of those FLIR 1 Pros into my Amazon store. Go check it out. I got a bunch of other cool stuff, and just so you know, I do get a small commission every time you guys purchase something from my Amazon store. I do get a small commission. So anyhow, like, subscribe. See you next week. Ciao.